Now, can you see it on your screen?
Yeah. I just have to test the microphone really quick. It's the first time I'm using this.
I mean, we should be like closer.
It zooms in on you when you
It'll,
talk.
yeah, if you talk, it'll.
I see it's like doing it now.
Is that what she's wearing, her sunglasses?
No, because the dog attacked her.
Oh. Oh.
What did you call it? Some kind of,
Very orbital.
that's it.
What's the name?
Alright, cool, we are good to go.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
so, I've done this a long time, except on TV. So did everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes,
And,
I would like to move that we accept the minutes
I
okay,
say on it.
okay.
and thank Ms. Barr for her excellent work.
Is anybody opposed? Okay. And Lynn's not here to make corrections, so. Oh, there's a not, a period at the end of that sentence. So she is obviously not here for Todd Samara project, but I know that, I spoke with Nancy about it and they haven't really gotten any
Really?
not applications. So if you all would spread the word, that would be good because the deadline is the 15th.
Oh.
It's next week, yeah.
Yeah, so
Is it possible to do is there like an arts council that could do a mass mailing or something, to spread the word?
We
Or
could see it on our social media, which will,
that would
would
be
send
good.
out a Art Walk Kingston, which is specifically artists.
Okay, that would be great. And there was something else I wanted to
There's
say.
probably a link somewhere I can copy, right?
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
sure.
it's,
Oh, they did, Rick Whalen did do a press release.
and it's only Kingston artists or?
Yes, it has to be within the ward, the 9 wards. Okay, Addie, master plan, next steps and rollout.
Yes, okay, so we have 2 dates scheduled for presentation. Our original date was gonna be July 29th, but Laura has not gotten me the next pass of the draft, so I think we should go for August 19th. I think that'll give us enough time to be able to review things.
Oh, she is here.
I apologize.
Oh, that's
I
okay.
had a contractor issue, but sorry.
Yeah, well, it'll be a virtual presentation, so, yeah, so I think that, I think we should just go with the 19th, I think July 29th is a little bit too tight for us to be able to review the document, it's a little bit on the longer side, there's, the appendix is kind of long, like, we don't wanna rush, I think that's probably the best course of action, so once we kind of just regroup on the draft a little bit, then we're gonna have our meeting with the KC and the PAC, which was supposed to be, I think it was last week or the week before, but the draft wasn't ready. I know that Laura has signed on to like 3 other projects that are just ramping up right now. So, hopefully we'll be able to just kind of like get everything together. But yeah, we did a lot of work with the workbooks and just kind of like going through them, making sure that they, kind of fit in line with what we can do here in the city, so I'm feeling good. I'm very excited to just kind of get the final document and be able to share it with you. We've basically been working off of like a Word document, so I'm excited for it to be like designed and all ready to go. So I have so far.
And is there a sense of how it'll be presented? I mean, is there gonna be a celebrity-filled room? Is there going to, how do you get the attention for it that it should have?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I think we should go with the August 19th date, is because that's farther out. We have more time to be able to communicate about it. We have our engaged Kingston mailing list for all people that participated, that kind of thing. But yeah, doing some individual reach outs is of course going to be important. You have to give the public 2 weeks notice anyway for any kind of public meeting. So it'll be through the traditional city channels. So
but the mayor will present it, there'll be
Yeah.
other people there,
Yeah.
the chair of the Arts Commission.
It'll be very similar to the State of Culture.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And will there be a press release that goes out?
Yeah, we're gonna do all the stuff we always do for every city event and public meeting, so it'll be treated exactly the same. It'll just be a virtual presentation or a hybrid situation, depending on where we're at with our equipment. We just have to make sure that, our team is doing a project out in Houston, so they're traveling a little bit more now that we're not in winter times, so just making sure that everybody's there. But yeah, so August 19th, keep that date in mind, and when I get the date for our draft review, I'll share that with you all. I'm hoping to be able to get it, they said they were gonna get it to me by the end of this week, so fingers crossed.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting also to think of, if you're going to be pulling out 2 or 3 things from the plan that you want to highlight and get the people's attention with, what those 2 or 3 things might be, that because I think if you do it that way, people will pay attention more.
We need to make sure that we reach out to the common council members that are, make sure they are here, even if it means buttonholing them each individually. Because I feel like having our elected officials sitting here connotes that it's important. We need to really push how important this is. So, it's not just grassroots up, but it's also the elected leaders.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
I mean, also inviting, Kevin Cahill and
Yeah.
Pat Ryan and,
County, state.
Yeah.
They're running for office after all.
They'll be there.
Yes, we also have some people who are running for common council elections, so it might be a good idea to invite some of the people who might, we don't know how elections are going to turn out, but it might be a good idea just to extend some invitations there. But first and foremost, we just need to also make sure that this draft looks good and that it's saying what we want it to say, so. I really wanna make sure that folks kind of take time with it, which is why we're going with this August 19th date. Like I said, it's a longer document, there's a lot in there, the appendix is weighty. So this is kind of the moment, we're a review team of about 30 people, so I'm really hoping that we can, take a look at it, but also once that draft is out there, it's out there. So that's another reason we're taking a little bit of a longer time with it, because we all have shared documents before and it's very easy to forward something, so we wanna be in control about how we communicate with it, so I don't want you to think that the delay is we're not working on it, it's just you want this draft to be something that once it's out in people's inboxes, that it's not something that, people are gonna get, I think it looks really good so far, but again, you're just putting the polishing touches on it and then we can go over with the fine tooth comb, so.
And sorry, I have to ask all this and I was out, but when will the draft be done and how long is the draft?
I don't
When will
know,
we be looking at it?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I'm gonna try to get it to you as soon as possible. Like I said, I was supposed to have the draft end of last week, now we're looking at end of this week. We've been putting Lord pretty much through the ringer, so they know that they can't really and I think that's part of the reason why it might be taking them a little longer, is because they know that they have to put a little bit of additional care into this, because we've been sharp the whole time. We have not been yeah, sure, whatever. We've been giving a lot of feedback, which is good. And I think they've been really into that, but I think they also know they can't just give us a, copy paste thing.
Yeah, so within the next KAC meeting, we will have looked at it
Yes.
and can discuss what you just said, Lauren, what is the leading points?
Yeah.
How do we wanna help present it?
Yeah. We also don't have to wait for a commission meeting to have that conversation too, because I think, we've
You mean, we've
been presenting events for this whole project, and I think we can start coming up with a strategy plan, because our next commission meeting will be a couple of days before the 19th, so I think we should, try to just stay in communication about that, which is definitely something I'm interested in doing.
so let me get this straight now. We're gonna get the draft very soon, which you will share with the commission members. Then we will have a meeting with the PAC and the KAC to discuss the draft.
Yep.
And then we will have a public meeting on the 19th.
And then we take public comment after that, so the public's allowed to weigh in. And then after that is when we go through common council things and all of that stuff. And I have a feeling that, you know, I think people are gonna be really excited about it. So it's just about, you know, like we've been saying, just trying to keep support up for it. Then again, since we do have new common councilors coming in, we just wanna make sure that, you know, kind of communicate with them who maybe haven't been a part of the project for the entire time.
Does the common council then pass vote on a resolution to?
We can adopt the plan formally by the common council, but a formal adoption by the common council doesn't mean like we can still work on elements of the plan. I think that everyone's goal is to have it be adopted by the common council.
Which would be a resolution they pass and vote on or something.
I can't remember whether there are things in the report that where the common council would need to vote on something, or is there a law that has to be enacted in order to do X or Y?
12% for art.
In a percent program?
Yeah.
So then who writes that? Do you write that, or, you know,
I mean, it would probably be my department, but I would hope that, you know, we would get some
Input
support
from
from there.
the arts commission.
Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was one of the things that was our topic.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
said we listed a number of people that would have to be involved and,
Cause the plan isn't like, you can't, like, basically, it's like, the plan is just the strategy, so it just says that we're going to write a percent parks policy, so we don't necessarily have to like enact that as we pass the plan. It's basically just committing to those goals.
Yeah, I just think it's easy to forget about it afterward.
Right,
Yeah.
sits on a shelf, like, how can we actually activate it?
Yeah, that's what,
Well, it's gonna be us, it's gonna be people in this room, you know, we are gonna be the people that are doing that, that's been what Lord has been saying the entire process, and I think that's something that we've learned from other master plans, is that it's not, you know, it's gonna be it has to be a group and community effort, it's not gonna be one person doing all of this work. That is going to not help us actualize. So we're gonna have to get into collaboration energy, and we're gonna have to realize that this plan is basically setting a roadmap for the next 5 to 10 years of what we'll be working on. So it's gonna be a lift. So, you know, when we already have some stuff starting, we have some things in play, but definitely, yeah, like reading through this plan, we've got a lot to get working on.
so it's really setting priorities, from what you're saying, is one of the most important things we can do at first.
Yeah.
That's the action,
Yeah.
that's how it leads to the action.
Yeah.
And how big, just an idea, that we're talking about.
We have
30
Gone with the
pages.
Wind,
No, I'm not asking for how to do that, I just had no idea what, you know.
With pictures or without?
Yeah, and
Because with pictures, it's gonna be, oh.
it's like a, you know,
50 pages or something.
it's about like 15 to 20 pages just in like the plan and the strategies and things, and then there's the appendix, and that's what's a little bit longer. But yeah, it's a sizable document, as most plans are.
all right, anything else on the master plan?
That's all I got.
Okay, and Lynn, I just wanna tell you, I talked to Nancy and I said that you guys need proposals that you're not
Yes.
getting any.
Talismere Art Fund,
So Linda's gonna put it on their Facebook
which we
page.
usually did, I don't know if we, you know, because I know I contacted, you know, somebody who works with you, but you know, we might have overlooked that this time.
I think
Because
it's-
last year we did it, maybe just an oversight on our part, but yeah, like get the word out, because the deadline is July 15th.
Yeah,
And I sent out press releases, but no one ever did anything with them. We only have like one completed application, 2 others.
oh, God.
No, and it's like $12.
I know, that's real money.
Yeah, so I mean, get the word out to anyone, all the artists you know, because, you know, it's $1,200.
Yeah.
And we had it on the Mad site.
That's so bizarre.
I know, and I mean, I sent it to the Hudson Valley One and the Freeman and Radio Kingston and,
I'm gonna send it out to the Art Walk Kingston.
yeah, but anything to think of it.
Yeah.
Because it's just a wasted opportunity.
I can see the title now, Don't You Want Money? Artists,
It's like cuts
don't
and
you want
shakes.
money?
That's usually what we do, money, openness.
okay, good. So the Harriet Tubman statue, I mean, there's not much going on with this yet. I mean, they sent the library did send the check and they got it and they cashed it and,
That's very exciting.
yeah,
This is,
so-
this coming in September, right?
no, next November, December,
Or November.
And-
Or 2022?
yes,
Do we know the date?
November, December, twenty
Are we
twenty-two,
already paying now?
Hold on, of November and December,
yeah.
so the first of November.
Yeah, well, they said the statute comes, I think it's 3 or 4 days prior to the first of the month. So,
Yeah.
And when do we make the decision about where it's going to be?
they would like to have an idea now. I told her it was either gonna be at the library or at Deep Listening Plaza. Margie is fine with either of those. And we also, Matt is going to sign the contract because she felt that, they weren't gonna do the fundraising. Yes, they gave us the deposit, but since Matt is really going to be the,
Fiscal sponsor.
since they're gonna be the fiscal sponsor and raising all the funds,
Yeah.
that they really should be the ones to sign the contract. So Anne said that was fine, it's been approved. I just wait until she gets back from vacation to get her to sign it and send it.
And then do we have to raise money to install it or get someone to do it?
Or get, the actual cost is $4,120. And then any other kinds of, programming that needs to be done if people wanna do that, or if,
You need to sign up and get a base done for it.
I don't know if we need a base, but we need to have somebody help us install it.
Oh, I thought it didn't come with a base, it does?
Well, it's a platform.
It's a platform,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It's not, I was just looking at it actually, as the way it was, in the museum, for example, you can see it's not huge, so it'll fit Deep Listening Plaza really well.
I think Deep Listening Plaza would be nice, cause
Well,
it's so
it's
busy.
really nice, but I think that it has, it's very important as a statement for the city.
Mhm.
The positioning of it is extraordinarily beautiful for Midtown, for the traffic that goes by there and kind of doesn't pay any attention to anything much. And it'll be front and center. It will not be a part of some things that become marginalized. We really want to make a statement with it, a beautiful statement.
And maybe the construction will be finished.
And what?
Maybe the construction on Broadway will be finished.
Maybe.
Hey, remember, we're
Just
being
saying.
recorded.
I thought, cause I was thinking about the library, I said, yeah, that'd be nice there, but it's tucked away.
It's right,
And it just, it could fall into the same old, it would be beautiful, but it would also fall.
It just doesn't have the visibility that Broadway does.
Yeah,
I mean, Deep Listening's like the center of the city.
I think it would be so beautiful.
But I still don't understand the base thing, because I thought that when the people from Newburgh told us what they did, that they created a base for it.
Right, they made it higher.
yeah, they made it
Yeah.
higher.
I don't know if it has to be, I mean, we could.
I just think we should think about it before, we have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Elevating it would be important. because
It's 8 feet tall,
The statue itself.
yeah,
Whoops.
8 feet 2 inches to be exact.
And what's the base, that it's
It doesn't say, it just says the piece is 8'2".
so in order to give it some,
Some Broadway tops,
you need to at least have a 4-foot.
Yeah.
Base,
and
to
nobody's gonna be able to miss that.
I'm so excited.
4 feet,
4 feet,
feels
6
kind
feet.
really?
Yeah.
That big?
That big?
Yeah. They don't want it on the ground.
12 feet?
Well, no, I know they don't, but 4 feet, it's gonna be 12
What
feet
is
high.
this?
Let me show you how it looks in the museum.
Put your glasses on.
Yeah, I think this is right for the museum, I don't
Right.
think it's, I
Just
don't
get
see.
an-
It's beautiful,
just to consider.
it's a major, it takes up, it's not like someone's 2 feet, it takes up, more square footage.
It could be maybe So.
Yeah, it looks like it should be a little elevated, now that I see it, you know, the way they're moving forward, it just looks like a ship prow, you know, like there's so much motion. Yeah.
I wouldn't make it even higher than 4 feet. If it goes to the listening plaza, I will make it like, so.
So like what?
I mean, because when you see those civic plazas, normally, well, not the Academy Green, they're not that high, but they are tall enough so you can really see them when you're walking nearby, when you're driving, because otherwise, it's only the people, it also depends on what part of the listening plaza is gonna be, but.
And it needs to be granite.
Yeah, by the way, no, bluestone,
But I agree with you, at least 4 feet.
yeah, we want, but we want the third graders to be able to see the piece without going into the middle of Broadway, right?
But they can see it.
And it weighs,
We can see them.
weighs 2,400 pounds.
Wow.
So,
And
Okay,
the
okay,
cost,
Talk about gravitas.
yeah,
the cost
Yeah.
includes the transportation.
yes, yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be amazing.
So we're gonna need a crane.
Oh, absolutely.
But maybe we can get
we need a-
volunteers like Newport got volunteers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that's.
Yeah. DPW.
I love it.
Maybe, but maybe not.
So what would the process be of making that happen?
I think it can happen.
Just start
So
talking
I-
to people.
Yeah, I don't see, I have a question, so $4,000 is just to have the study here?
Yes, it's $2,000 a month, and then $60 a month insurance.
And then to do the installation, whatever we want to do, so the
That's
thing
it.
starts up.
Yeah, so it's probably,
Right.
maybe $5,000 total.
Including the
6,000.
crane, including the crane?
If we
People
get
just gonna be
volunteer.
donated.
Oh,
DPW or Mullins,
Somebody like that.
yeah, Myron.
Yeah, I mean, I think what do we have to do, Addie? Ask the mayor if we can put it there, if
Yeah.
it's city property?
Yeah, so since that's on city property, which, I would definitely, I don't think there would be any problem with that. I think we'd be really excited to have that. I do think we just have to have a conversation about installation, since it's a piece of, it's kind of a specialized install, just wanna make sure that that's being handled by folks that it makes sense for it to be handled by. And then, I think what might make sense too would be to connect with some folks sooner rather than later. This information's out there, I'm not sure how many people are clued in onto this project, but now that we have it secured, we have a time frame, and we have a potential location that makes a lot of sense. I think it's probably time to start interacting with some folks, and, getting people excited for it, since, there's probably gonna wanna be people who are gonna want to be involved in it, but also maybe help with programming, that kind of thing, so maybe getting some sort of, Matt is handling signing contracts and doing a lot of fundraising, so maybe they wanna have a small committee that focuses on this, maybe work together with some community members. We have a lot of people I think would be interested in talking about.
Yeah, we should definitely talk to Harambe and to Transart and see.
and one question, for the installation, do we need to do like a RPG, I don't remember what's the name of that thing? Because it's okay.
But I think that going back to the people who the Newburgh Library worked with and saying, first, would you be willing to do it again, or do you have someone in Kingston who you could recommend?
Sure,
Couldn't hurt,
yeah.
And who I'd love to get involved with this, the Academy Green Committee.
Oh, that brings full circle, that brings back to how this all started.
That was where.
That's how it started.
Just saying, those folks have a little bit of money for fundraising. I'm not talking about the committee itself, but individuals, they are among the wealthiest people in Kingston.
Right,
Yeah.
and the more people who contribute from the more different parts of the city, the better.
Yes.
Unify the city.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's gonna happen.
Do you have a contact there, Rob?
Of course.
Oh, maybe.
Kevin Pulte,
Oh, I didn't know Kevin was on that.
you bet.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, he seems like he would be open.
Yeah,
For
it's
sure.
like, get us the money from the community foundation, I want it fast.
So I'll start the ball rolling then with the city and we'll get a confirmation on placement and then we can start fundraising.
So exciting.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of cool programming around it. I mean,
Yeah, well, ask about that. That was my second question.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you know, because it's gonna be next to UPAC and in December. And all those kids that go to UPAC to see all those Christmas things.
And maybe Priscilla could program something with it.
Oh, absolutely.
And what about the people who did I can't remember the mystery thing, but he has the guy who did the.
Oh, Frank,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great to,
Yes.
you know, to,
Yeah,
Oh, I
like
think
history,
to have-
diet, like tableau.
and maybe Dina
like-
Washington wants to do Sojourner, you know, to do Harriet Tubman.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Frank Mark.
Fantastic, so many wonderful things happen,
And we-
rolling,
and the ministry could commission something.
So should we have,
definitely.
should we have an outreach committee or just individually just talk to people? I mean, should we have a committee that says that's what our, that's our aim is, we wanna really work on
It's
outreach
It's a
for,
good idea.
I mean, I think we need to have an
Committee, 'cause then
organization.
they report back
uh,
and it makes it really clear.
I guess since I've been spearheading this, I have to do this, don't I? Sorry.
I mean, I'm happy to be on the committee,
Okay.
and I guess the point of the committee is just to reach out to people. Anyone else can reach out too, but the committee would be the point people, like if you reached out to them and let us know and we could follow up.
I'm happy to be involved.
And I can definitely contact Frank.
Yeah, well, I would be on the committee. I looked at this museum, my uncle is in that museum too, so. His portrait.
Oh.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, which museum is this again? He's in that, one of his images is in the museum again.
Very cool.
Which is connected with all of that. I'm talking at the time, his name is William S. Ripper, the abolitionist.
Was he also the that was your father who was Actors Equity?
Well, there was he's my uncle. My great grandfather was the judge. His name is William too. They all had the same name, so it gets crazy. But he was William S. We call him the abolitionist. And we go to Philadelphia, you can see his house, and there's a plaque in front of it.
Did he know Tubman or?
Oh, yeah.
Well, maybe you should do something about this.
He had
Like
the-
personal connection, you have a personal connection.
He had the real railroad cars that took the slaves up to Canada. So he and Lynn Still, who was his partner, had the overground railroad and prepared to go into that cause.
I think you should definitely do some kind of presentation, the fact that there's a personal connection with somebody here in Kingston.
Yeah,
I think it's really powerful, and it'd be great if you could tell that story, as one of the events.
I could do that. Yeah, we can figure out what.
You have photos of him and of course of your uncle?
I know what.
Do you have any visual images of?
Yeah, there's a picture of him. There's lots of pictures.
That would be a fantastic presentation.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it before the meetings, I'll just show you. Yeah, there's several photos and he's also in Cooperstown. There's a beautiful portrait painting of him there as a younger man. This
At the
is-
Fenimore or the Fenimore Museum?
Yeah, in that museum.
That's the sweetest little museum.
I love that museum.
Yeah, I have pictures of all.
That is amazing. I mean, I guess the library is a venue, right, for doing presentations?
Yeah, something nice.
Which
The
is
library-
museum, I'm sorry.
Oh, we talked
The
about
Fenimore.
Oh, the Fenimore.
Yeah, he's there. I'll show you I have the booklet from the pictures. Anyway.
So I think we got our first event.
Well, can we go back to the, asking people to plan performances around this statue? I just really feel like as the leaders here in the Kingston Arts and Culture, we really need to be very careful to think about, this should be Black performers, it should be Black-led performance, dance, all of that, and just, you know, Frank Marquette, he's a great guy. I just feel very strongly that,
No, he would create it for a Black performer.
okay,
I think Linda brings up a really important point, like this is a, you know, it's a pretty sensitive narrative and there's already work being done in the community around the legacy of enslaved people. And I just feel like we should be really mindful of when we reach out, we're not kind of like reaching out just saying like, hey, plan something for us, that we're reaching out and thinking about collaboration in the most respectful way possible, of inviting people to be like really a part of this, like, let's develop something together versus like, here is your slot to like kind of create something here, because I do think that, you know, again, like it is a very prominent location. It's a, you know, it's just, again, a story that there's layers to. And I think for a lot of folks, they might have some things that they've worked on or have things that they can also work to develop. So just kind of making sure, like, again, like as we're walking through that project, that we just kind of keep that in our minds.
Well, I think the way that I would approach people, like Ty and other, maybe Rashid Tyler, other people like that, is just first let them know about it.
yeah.
You know, we're getting this grant statute, November, December, you know, we want to do programming, you know.
But it could be high schools, you know.
No, well, that's why Rashid Tyler was involved with a writing program with Bard. I mean, I think as much outreach as possible, and of course, that's the first priority, that community, those communities, rather.
And, you know,
And, but then I think, but then be inclusive too.
yeah, and the AME churches around the corner.
Yeah, so I think the thing is just first of all getting the word out to everybody, you know, Doris Schuyler, they might have something Riverside, anyone you can think of. And then, putting it out there early, I mean, that's my thought,
I think that's.
make some
something.
phone calls, say, you know, I wanna let you know about this.
And invite all
And-
those people to the planning table,
Yeah.
and then just be there as, you know, the person who's taking the notes.
Right, exactly, not driving it, just sort of saying, here's this opportunity.
So as the outreach committee, the three of us will reach out to a number, we could put like a mini town hall meeting together and just say we're putting it out there for programming. And does that make sense?
You mean like inviting people to the meeting?
Yeah, have a meeting and just say, you know, this is what we're doing, this is when we're doing it, and we'd like to have a call for proposals for programming.
So maybe we could have the meeting like in September or something, and then meanwhile they try to contact people to
Yeah, I
come
mean,
to the meeting.
I would think maybe,
People are away, you know.
yeah, September, well, I mean, it's not until next year.
October, in the fall, sometime in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have this town
start
meeting.
start
Start the
the conversations, yeah.
Wait a minute, it's next year.
It's
Next
just
year.
22.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I guess we, the three of us could be the, say, we're gonna call together, call the same people.
Right, yes, okay.
So they get the answer, like,
Yeah, but
this
okay.
school next year.
Yeah, take face.
Great,
let's
that's
say.
So then,
Then I get the answer.
we would meet as a committee first, so
Yes.
sometime in the fall, so we can sort of figure out who this point.
Yes.
And then decide the meeting, you know, who will reach out to them.
Yes.
Great.
And there is more people in town, and
Yeah.
I always see like, you know, we reach always the same person that is already overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
schools.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing is there's just so much here now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
It
so
is really
rich,
fantastic.
you know, from, I'm just thinking in like my media, the African Heritage, Crown Trends Art, Great Hill Gallery. It's got state of the art, equipment, you know, there's just so much, so.
Yeah, Kingston is rich.
Okay,
Yeah, it is, it's growing too.
so emergency funding for arts groups. I got a notification from the Mid-Hudson Regional Economic Development Council. And right now there is the Pandemic Small Business Recovery Grant Program that provides grant funding to eligible small and micro businesses and for-profit independent arts and cultural organizations impacted by the pandemic. Grants will be flexible and can be used for a number of different business operating expenses, including payroll, rent, mortgage, taxes, utilities, PPE, or other business expenses incurred between March 1st, 2020 and April 1st, 2021. Grants will range from $5,000 to $50,000, depending on 2019 annual gross receipts. So people can apply for it now.
Is that the same as the FEMA funding?
I don't know.
There's so many funding things open now that it's almost overwhelming.
Where is this available? Where is this?
I get it because we got, funding from this consolidated funding
Uh-huh.
application. I can forward this to you if you want.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll forward it to everybody.
that'd be great. But there is also FEMA funding too.
No, you said you had Newsom stuff again.
Yeah, so that's one of them, and that's through New York State.
This one is through New York State.
Yeah, so the thing that happened was the governor released all this money and said, give it into the hands of the people right away. And so telling state employees to rush to create something to give away money is pretty terrifying. So a lot of the stuff is like, they're flying these planes and they're making up the rules. So NISCA also has all these different like rounds of funding possibilities.
Really?
The first one is, they're called rapid live action performance grants. So if you are a direct applicant and you have a perform like Hotspot would be a good example of this. They probably get funding from NISCA, they can go directly to NISCA because part of their performance was one of the top criteria. Because they were the ones that were hit hardest. So that's for direct grantees. But then in round two, and that's opening up July 19th, and the deadline is August 2nd, is focusing on new applicants to NISCA. So this is, and they have lowered all of these criteria that they have had in the past.
Wow.
And actually, we sat in several meetings with NISCA and we said, here's what we're hearing in the field, people say this is too difficult for them to do this. I mean, the whole criteria of smaller arts organizations trying to get all these things together and, jump through these hoops to get $1 or $2 or even $3,000. So they came to us and they said, Lilia, would you edit this? Because we just kept arguing with them. We thought, what do we have to lose? So anyway, so it should be much easier to apply to.
And it's on the NISCO website?
Yeah,
And say what it's called again, please?
it's called Rapid Restart, I believe. I saw it named two different things, but if you go to the NISCA webpage, you'll see it right away. Round 3 is individual artist support, and that is flexible funding. It's supposed for individual artists or organizations. It's supposed to be extremely streamlined. And the priority will be historically underserved communities. And that opens also July 19th, and the deadline is September 1st. And then round 4 is for capital funding, and that will open on sometime in September, and there's no deadline yet, because I haven't figured that out. And then, the NEA has the American Rescue Plan grants. And those are supposed to be, the focus is to support jobs in the arts sector, keep the doors open, assisted recovery. And they're intended to support specific operating costs, and they don't need matching funds.
Oh,
So amazing. So yeah, spread the word, let everybody know that it's in arts purview.
So that's on the website.
Yeah,
From your experience, are people aware of this? I mean, are there a lot of applications or you don't know?
they haven't even really published the portal isn't even opening until July 19th. These are just.
July 19th to August
But-
3rd.
but the deadline is like that.
Yeah, there's not much time.
Yeah, there's not much time. So we got an email from them, this is how fast they're moving. We got an email from them yesterday late afternoon saying, okay, all you have to do is fill out this form, and it's got 3 places that I have to fill out. And it's essentially like, I will get half of our normal re-grant budget, half of our administrative budget to administer this funding. So, and the NISCA board has already approved this, so it's happening, yeah.
Do you have that on the agricultural website, that information?
It's
in the
not up yet.
utilities? Oh.
It's not up yet because they haven't even published it on, we're
Gotcha.
poised and ready to spring as soon as we get some valid information, because, if we put it out now, everybody would go like, I can't open it. it was-
Yeah.
And what about the county funding? Didn't we talk about that at the last meeting?
Yeah, and Juan Delgado also was offering, I don't remember how many millions, and Pat Ryan talked about that too, that there were money.
So Andy, you have some info about that, right?
I mean, there isn't really that much info to share. I reached out to Tim Wiedemann and just said, hey, we're curious to know what the commitment is to the arts, and I'll let them know as soon as I hear back from them. Yeah.
It's disappointing.
Oh, well, they got all that money, that federal money that was approved, and now they don't know what to do with that, yeah. And
Not to announce it and set up guidelines like the council.
I think they're figuring things out. I think there are a lot of people, first of all, they have all of the COVID stuff that they have to figure out, because they were, they were running a countywide COVID program, so they have things that they need to kind of settle with that. But it's also like, again, there are a lot of people that are going to be kind of, there are things that we have to kind of work through, and it's because it is this specific kind of funding, as NISC is discovering, as all of these people who are creating these relief funds are discovering, that you can't just give it to people, you have to come up with a fair structure for how to allocate it.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what they're working on right now, is, they've got, is it gonna be independent? Is it gonna be small grants to artists? Is it gonna be project grants? Is it gonna be facilities grants? Is it gonna be prioritizing performing arts? I think and that's just for our small
Yeah.
sector.
But we know that they have money earmarked for the
Well,
arts.
that's the
But
biggest,
we don't even know that.
yeah,
We don't know how much.
yeah,
Yeah,
Right, that's the
that's the
question.
biggest
I
issue.
think that they were asking for proposals to see then how the money was going to be spent.
right. So, I spoke about it with Mayor Noble, and he's absolutely on the same page that we all are. I think that's been one of the things that's been a struggle, it's just having the arts community in our city and not being able to provide as much support as we want to. So now that we have an opportunity for it, we're ready to advocate. I believe at the last meeting, we were having a conversation about maybe you all drafting some sort of communication letter, scheduling a meeting with the mayor, something like that. And then we were gonna see if we could, have a conversation about just, suggesting some ideas for what we think makes sense. I've been sharing with them as much information as I can about different programs that are coming up, so I'm not sure what next steps you all want to take, but I think that it would be great to have our arts commission localize.
And maybe we can connect with the statute thing and the programming, if part of that money can be used for something like that.
But it's also interesting, the NISCA grants, are they all for you or directly through NISCA as well?
The ones that are any grants have to go through us.
But I'm just thinking it's a good model for the county.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you've already have all of these different areas that funding is available, just copy it and make it available for the county money as well.
Or send the money to agriculture.
Well,
I think you should be in touch with Pat Ryan.
Yeah.
well,
Do
Peter,
you think you and I should go and talk to Pat?
absolutely, Peter and I kind of already started this, and
You
then
did, okay.
Peter was not well, so I don't know where that is.
Okay, let me connect with him and see, if it's okay.
Yeah, I just felt really weird about bothering him. He's
Yeah,
trying to heal.
He was doing better, because he was in his garden,
okay.
watching the flowers that are coming out, so it's.
The flowers, they got mowed
That
down.
they got gathered, are coming back, and he was fine, he was doing a walk, he said that he's gonna slow it down, but he's doing good.
Okay, so that makes me feel
Yeah.
less hesitant.
If you and Peter are doing it, then you guys go
Yeah,
ahead.
I will make a note to.
Yeah, he's home.
Okay.
I'll bribe him with ice cream.
Okay.
He was asking for that.
So, should I draft a letter to the mayor?
I think that's a great idea.
All right.
And again, I think that is very much an open conversation. I don't think we're gonna have to do too much
So
convincing
I'll
about
do it to
meeting.
the mayor and I'll write a letter to Pat Ryan too, and then you guys can follow up with that.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ann's not here, so I don't know, Addie, if you have any information about the Kingston Annual?
I don't know too much about it.
I do.
Oh, you do, so you're gonna report on it.
No, I decided, I didn't, you know, when Anne wasn't here, I thought, wasn't gonna be here, I thought, I'll just call Brent and, you know,
Mhm.
and ask. And apparently, I said, well, what happened? It's no longer a Kingston Annual, it's Kingston and Hudson Valley. You know, I said, why'd you do that? He said, well, because we wanted it to be, we wanted
What did you say?
to be more inclusive and to have more people connected to it. And who are the judges are, I said, oh, it sounds so much like the Dorsey, which does the Hudson Valley Annual every year, funny. And he said, well, that's funny because Anna Conlon is one of the judges, the director of the Dorsey.
Well,
And
that's-
Stefan, from White Gallery, what is it, Stefan, no, what's his name?
Oh,
Art
Stephen
coordinating,
Safer.
Steph-
No, he's not the other.
No, from the White Gallery, the White Gallery.
Wired, oh,
Wired.
Yeah, it's Stefan.
Esteban,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the other judge. And the featured artist this year is Andrew Light.
Oh, that's good.
And
So then it's not the Kingston Annual, then
it's just so interesting, you know, what happened and
But I mean, it's supposed to be in the fall, right?
Mhm.
When,
yeah,
and
It's
so
just-
we're saying that we don't know if it's happening, or?
They
no,
open-
we're not saying that, we're
the
saying,
call for artists is already going, I think the deadline is next week too,
For the artist to apply.
for the Kingston Annual.
I it was just interesting that that Mad and Ask decided to change the
Yeah.
nature of who they wanted to have in their show.
Meaning that it's not just people from Kingston.
Yeah.
That's the main thing, which is a big deal, because it's
Not even people from Ulster County,
right, it could be anybody,
yeah, anybody from the
For
Midwest.
the Hundred Valley, yeah.
huh?
So, you know, it's-
Because my understanding, they had tons of submissions when Julie curated it, right?
Yeah.
So even limiting it to Kingston, I mean,
Even if it is.
they had a huge response and lots of, you know, a lot of people didn't get in, you know, like, it's not like they're hurting for artists, it seems like.
he said he was talking to Ray Curran about it, and this is what they decided, so
So what's it gonna be called?
Kingston Annual.
Because it's cost in Kingston. It's gonna be exhibited.
But I mean, that really changes the whole thing, if it's artists from the Hudson Valley.
Yeah, sounds like the Dorsey show.
Did they
Right,
limit it
exactly.
to certain counties?
No,
It's-
Hudson Valley.
Brent just said that Hudson Valley.
The only limitation, I think it was 3 pieces. Something like that per artist.
Is there a specific curator, or it's just?
Yeah, the curators are Saban and
Sivan, and then, but there's
Seven
judges,
and Anna.
and
so there were also the curator judges,
yeah,
got it. And she's from the Dorsey. Dorsey too,
okay, I just
because
thought
we've got a
it'd be,
satellite now in Kingston.
hey, that couldn't be the worst thing.
Okay, so any new business, any old business?
We just, I spoke with Elisa in the clerk's office and we are gonna do a music in the parks this year. And we're gonna be doing that, in August on, look at the dates, I just get that correct.
I'm so bummed because I still have not seen Lost Roundup.
Well, we're showing it July 24th.
I know, I'm gonna be on City Island.
Oh, well, you can always screen it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we're doing music in the parks on the 14th and the 28th of August. So we have a submissions form that musicians can apply for. It's $500 for an hour of music. So we're gonna have 2 different events. We're just gonna do 1 hour, one musical act. So all the information's online, if you know anyone wants to apply for it. And yeah, deadline is next week, so, we already have quite a few applicants, but if you know,
Which parks?
TR Gallo Park. It's gonna be, we're combining with movies in the park this year, so we're just gonna be doing an hour of live music before, for 2 film screenings, so it'll be nice. You know, we just wanted to do something, make sure we compensated folks that were participating, and then we can do a larger program next year.
Great, that's good. And there's also gonna be artists up on Sturdy.
Yeah,
I didn't
Really?
know that.
yeah.
And the 15,
Yeah.
Where is the music, where is Lost Rondout being shown?
At Gallup Park.
Oh.
Movies in the park, are they all in Gallup Park?
I'm not sure.
No.
Oh, okay,
There's
in
still-
Gallup Park, I'm not sure if you're away, but I'm coming back that day, so I won't be there that night.
Yeah,
We did
there-
it a couple of years ago, or more than a couple of years ago.
Yeah, there's 4, I think it's 6 movies they're showing, Abby, or is it 4?
I think it's 6 altogether.
6, yeah.
But they're not doing music before that movie, only in August, only the 2 performances in August.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So the postponed event at Deep Listening Plaza, because of torrential rains, is happening on July 23rd, which is coming up.
and is it a Sunday, Monday?
No, it's
Oh, July, not August.
July.
Okay,
That's a Friday.
That's a Friday, July, yeah.
It's a Friday, so rain or shine, I think it can get postponed, I don't know about what's happening. But, it's the Talking Trio, and local participants as well, so it should be quite a wonderful, very highly regarded trio of Claire Chase and Susie Ibarra and Alex Pay. And some of you know, he's a New Paltz. Susie lives in New Paltz. Claire is moving up to the Hudson Valley, so she's
From New York,
she's smitten, yeah. She's
this is the pattern.
I hope she can find a place to live.
I know. Really. So anyway, that's happening, it's happening at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7. And it's, short and sweet and it should be really lovely.
Unfortunately, I won't be here, I know.
Me too.
I can point you to different performances they've already done in the area. So I'll send you links.
Would love to know, because I'd love to see them, some other week, I'll be away that week, but otherwise.
There's a big Zurich based people who are called Sound Vision. Anyway, Sound Matters. Sound Matters. And so there's already plenty of video of this particular trio in the Hudson Valley area, and tried to be at Deep Listening Plaza was supposed to be the first one. Anyway, on the site, you can see all kinds of fabulous things.
So I go to the Deep Listening site, where would I find about them, find out what site?
Sound Matters.
Sound Matters.
It's Zurich, and if you don't see it, I'll show you.
Any things?
Okay. Anything else? Anything about Art Walk, are they?
Oh, yeah, we're up and running, there's artists signed up, it's gonna be in person this time. We're trying to do some little performative things here and there, we're trying to build clusters, because clusters are always the most successful, because people see a group of artists. Yeah, stay tuned, we've got the space reserved, thank you very much, to put the banner up this year across.
Really?
Yeah, they charge now, but it was
Yeah.
fine, pay, just, that area gets such a huge amount of traffic, and people are always in a traffic jam there, so they can dream about Art Walk,
And when is that?
September 18th and 19th.
Do you know if finally we have the draw registered?
I don't think so, but
Okay.
I was assuming,
I have to check it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I told her that we were going to do it, and then Joe told me that he needed the name of the artist that we're going to,
oh, maybe that's what's holding it up.
but yeah, the thing is that not yet. But I saw also that I think it was Cornell say artist TBD. So you can register with the TBD and then send the name.
Yeah. So exciting.
And where can they sign up? On the Artwalk website?
Artwalkkingston.com.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Anybody wanna make a motion to adjourn?
So,
I second.
Okay, anybody opposed?
Agreed.
let's stay on that, let's stay on this.
You know what I mean, like.
Actually getting cold.
Congratulations
I'm
to
gonna
the end
bring
of
something because I forgot.
Yeah,
your life.
Well, it takes 8 weeks to get anything, you can't get a plumber, it's insane.
Oh.
Oh, tell me
Oh
about
my
it.
God.
But I love it living in Midtown, you know,